A bipartisan group of state lawmakers visited death row inmate Robert Roberson 8 days before his scheduled execution. He was convicted of murdering his 2-year-old daughter in 2003. His team says he was convicted using the shaken baby syndrome diagnosis, which more recent science debunks. Tonight, we're also hearing from Roberson as he prepares for whatever happens next. Fox 4's David Sintendry has more. David.
Well, Roberson says he's not scared of dying, and if his execution is upheld, that he will be ready. Still, some bipartisan lawmakers are not giving up, calling for what they say would be a miracle.
Robert is a gentle, sweet man who is ready for a new trial.
Bipartisan Texas lawmakers traveled to a state prison Wednesday afternoon to meet with Robert Roberson, 8 days before Roberson's scheduled execution.
If Robert is executed, justice will not be served at all. It would be a stain on this state, a stain on this nation.
Roberson has spent nearly 23 years on death row, convicted of killing his 2-year-old daughter, Nikki. In 2003, prosecutors at Roberson's trial argued he hit and violently shook his daughter, causing severe head trauma. But Roberson's lawyers and some medical experts say his daughter died from complications related to pneumonia, and the injuries were the result of a fall. They also question the science behind shaken baby syndrome. Although many in the medical community consider it a diagnosis, recent studies challenge its validity.
Robert is a man of incredible faith who loves his daughter, Nikki, who grieves her loss.
Roberson spoke about his daughter in a newly released interview with the Associated Press.
I never shook her, hit her, or nothing. No, sir. No, sir. Like I said, it was bad enough losing my little girl. And then when they accused me of it, I couldn't believe it. I always remember her, always. As long as I'm breathing and stuff, I always remember her.
Roberson's current attorneys argue his undiagnosed autism at the time of trial helped convict him because his flat demeanor was seen as a sign of guilt.
And when I hear Robert Roberson look me in the eye today and tell me they wouldn't let me tell my side of the story at the trial, and he didn't even know at that time that he has autism, and so he didn't know he could argue with his lawyer. He didn't know he could go to the judge and say, I want to speak. He didn't know any of that.
Last year, Roberson was on the verge of execution until bipartisan lawmakers issued a subpoena, which resulted in the Texas Supreme Court pausing the execution. In July, a judge set next week's execution date.
It's never too late to make a wrong right.
These lawmakers say there's not much they can do, so they're calling on ones who can take action. Roberson's case under several appeals. If a judge does not step in,
the governor can grant a stay. He can do that 30-day stay and push the courts to take another look.
I'm not scared to die, but I'm not ready to die, you know. And I would like to believe God has more for me to do and stuff, you know. And I would like people to remember me by my perseverance, my persistence, never giving up, you know.
Again, for now, Roberson's execution date is set for 1 week from tomorrow. Certainly a story will continue to follow, but for now, Steve and Heather, I'll send it back to y'all.
All right, David Sintendry, thank you.